Hey, local Fall River small business owners. My name is Matt. You can find me at southcoast.fm, the We Are Here podcast, where I interview local entrepreneurs on the South Coast. In today's video, we're going to show you 3 easy tips for setting up your email marketing campaigns, primarily using MailChimp. And we'll talk about the 3 most useful things you can do with MailChimp. I'll show you how to get that done. And it's a lengthy video, but you can take it in stages and steps. Click around the video, find the hot spots for you. It's how to get that email sign-up form on your website, how to set up your first welcome email, and how do you schedule and create content for email in a world where you're super busy doing a million other things. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Check it out. We'll see you in the next video. Okay, so let's dive into 3 useful things you can do with MailChimp right out of the gate that will help start to drive traffic to get people to sign up to your email list. First thing we're going to do is get the sign-up form on your website. We know that's critical. We know we need to get people into our email list. And there's a couple ways to go about this. There's a couple ways to go about this for people who already have websites and people who have no websites. We're going to take a look at that right now. So the first thing we'll do is go into our, not that one. We want to go into our audience and we want to go to sign-up forms. So you can do this. MailChimp will walk you through if this is your first time using MailChimp and creating an account and all that stuff. They will lead you through this, but if you kind of missed that process or maybe you signed up for a MailChimp account years ago and you never used it, go to the sign up form section. And this is how easy it really is. We go to embedded forms. And the beauty about this is, so here's the preview on the right-hand side. I know there's a lot of code stuff, so don't let that scare you. But on the right-hand side, you can preview this whole form. This is what it looks like. So what we're going to say is, we don't really need all of this stuff. So we're going to say uncheck all of this stuff here and say only show the required field. And that's going to be the email address. You could customize this and spend some time to get people's names and birth dates and all of that stuff. Certainly the name is a great field to get because if you want to personalize emails, so it's like, hey, first name. It'll take the first name that you captured and put it in the email when you send it later. But really, if you're just trying to get this thing up and running and you're not worried about that right now, just say show only the required fields, which is the email address field. Like we need to capture an email. In order to send emails, we need the email address. Okay? So it's going to have all of this code right here, this web code, if you will. And it says copy and paste this onto your site. So when you click on it, it's all highlighted. I'm going to hit Control-C for copy. And now we'll go into our WordPress website. It doesn't have to be WordPress. It could be Squarespace, Wix, whatever you're using for a website to put that sign-up form. And it's very straightforward. So what we're going to do is, in WordPress anyway, we're going to do custom HTML. We're going to paste in that code that we copied. And then when I preview it, you'll see it's a subscribe form. This is what it looks like, email address and subscribe field. We'll publish this so we can take a look at it. This is just a test website, so there's not much going on here. But you can see there's the form. This is the front end of the website. And when somebody comes to this page, they just drop in their email. Now, look, obviously you don't want to do just this. You want to give it some reason, some purpose. You want to sell the idea of getting onto your email list. So what's the value? Are you going to send them content and valuable information or instructions or content about your business, about your brand, about your product that they're not going to be able to get anywhere else? Are you positioning it as a, find the latest deals mechanism? Like this is a way for you to get my latest coupon code, where I'm going to be when we can be in person again, maybe online events that you're getting to. Like what's the value here? Like you still have to pitch it. You still have to get somebody on it. But if you're super early days and you're just word of mouth, just telling people, look, I've got something coming, sign up to this list so you don't miss out, that's fine too. I mean, when you think about what traditional businesses do in person, or when we could do it in farmers markets and things like that, people would just have a list and then please sign up to my, literally write your email, which is fine. I applaud the effort there, but we have to give people a reason. Nobody wants to just get spammed with email, right? So that's as easy as it can get with embedding a MailChimp form onto your website. Copy this code, paste it onto your website, hit save, and now anyone who goes here will get into your MailChimp customer database. Easy peasy. Now, if you don't have a website, one of the things that MailChimp does make fairly easy and accessible, they have like a whole website builder now in MailChimp. I don't encourage you to use that. I mean, if you're looking for something ultra basic, you're never really going to do anything super elaborate online, maybe. But the product, the web building product is just not as capable as what you're going to get from a Squarespace, a Wix, a WordPress, right? Or Shopify. So if you have nothing, we do Matt's email landing page. So you create new, let me start that again so you can see that. So you create new landing page. We say Matt's email landing page. You're picking the customer list that it's going into. You hit begin, and literally we're doing the same thing. We're making something ultra basic. I'm going to click on grow your list because it's probably the most basic that we can get here. And it's going to bring you into their little landing page builder. So if you have a logo, you want to have a nice big enticing headline here, like again, sell the reason why people are signing up to this email list. You could even embed a video. So if I grabbed one of my videos from my YouTube page, I could drag in a video here. So if you were, and again, like if you have nothing, you have no business online yet, or no presence, and you just want to get people hyped up, shoot a video, embed it on YouTube, or save it up to YouTube, and then embed it on your MailChimp landing page. You're giving that reason, you're telling that story, you're giving the purpose, you're going to sell the value of why you want to jump on this email list. And that's it. So we're going to hit save and close. And on the next page, it's going to give you this URL right here. Okay? So we'll hit publish. That way we can test it. And it says view your landing page. And when we click it, boom, there's our landing page. So even if you don't have a website, you don't even have a domain registered yet, you can at least do this landing page, which is perfectly fine while you're starting off. And you can put that out on social media. You can put it on Facebook. You can put it on your Instagram profile. Just build the hype, right? As you're building your website fully in the background, do something like this. You need something. You need to capture email. Close this. The next thing you should do for email campaigns, or for using your MailChimp site, is setting up automation. So we're going to click on automation. And the first thing that they do, and in fact, you can't get all the automation features. That's a whole other lesson in automation. But the first thing we're going to do is say classic automations. And we're going to welcome new subscribers. This might be the single most important thing that you can do to really push the needle with your email marketing, right? So we'll say single welcome email. We'll hit begin. And the welcome email will be an automated email that is automatically sent to the subscriber when they subscribe to your email list. So this is like super low-hanging fruit. It takes you 2 seconds. And what we'll do is, focus on the subject line first. And one of the things I like about MailChimp is they really encourage you to write better copy and better subjects. So they give you some tips here. But what we don't want to do with email is send useless content or annoying content or bland content. We need to really think about who the person is reading it, put yourself in their shoes and say, why would you open this email? So if your landing page for your email was save 15% off with this coupon code, in your subject line, you could say, here's your 15% coupon code. Or you could say, you only have 72 hours left to save this 15% coupon code. Don't let this 15% coupon code slip away, right? You start to work the headline, rework the pitch. But the welcome email is so important because there's so many of us, myself included, who have launched email campaigns, and we forget that welcome email is critical to get some immediate response. It's either that coupon code, where can they find you at the next event? So we'll just save that for now, and we'll move into editing the design. And within the body of this email, this is where we're going to put all of those call to actions, those hot points. And again, it could be dropping in, that video. Maybe you have a video that you've created as a personal welcome message to your email. That's going to have a whole bunch of value to it, and people will really connect with your brand. You'll have your discount code, and most importantly, where else can they find you on social media? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Like, where are these other hot points that you can send people to? Like, once they open up, it's sort of like a table of contents. You got them far enough to subscribe to your email list. Thumbs up for that. But immediately, let's tell them about mostly everything else that we do. I mean, we don't want to annoy them or drown them in content, but if you can do a personal video, that's awesome. People are like, wow. I mean, amazing that they have this personal video for me signing up. Maybe some insider tips and tricks about your product or service. So get creative here. And you can do that for free. I think you can do one automated email, one welcome email with the free plan of MailChimp. And that's sort of where you can explore. I think automated email is, again, a whole other course where you can start to create automated emails for people who buy things from your website. You can send out multiple emails. This is really where you get into marketing automation down the road. So once they, sign up, you send them that welcome email, but then maybe in 7 days, you send them another email and you say, hey, we haven't seen you come into the store. You haven't bought anything from the website yet, or you're just giving them information. By the way, how people are really successful with our brand? It's because of X, Y, Z, and you give them this whole flow of email. So marketing automation, welcome email, number 2, best thing you can do for your email list. All right, so the third tip with all of this stuff is actually giving you many tips on creating content. I know that, the way that I approach email marketing is much more of a communication channel with my audience. I don't look at it from this one channel and how am I optimizing it? Are we selling stuff from it? Are we getting a bottom line, a return on investment, all this stuff? I look at this as another form of communication and that opportunity to have just a different dialogue that I'm not going to have on whatever, Facebook, Twitter, my podcast, my YouTube channel. Like, I look at email as much more intimate, much more connected to somebody. And I really value the responses that I get through email because they're the most thoughtful most of the time. And people are willing to reply with their own personal email address and have a conversation with you. It's very different. So I don't just look at it as this sales channel. Or at least I don't consult people to think that way. It's perfectly fine if you do. There's definitely a use case for it, and you can optimize and you can see a return on investment. I just don't do it for small businesses because I don't think we have the luxury of just treating our hard-earned email list as just a sales tool. So when we go into, let's just create another email. One of the biggest issues that folks have with email is, well, boy, I don't have the time, number one. Second is it's more of like a creative thing is I don't know what to put in an email. Now, the way that I do it with Sunday Notes, and I have taken a break from it, admittedly, because I switched jobs, and with COVID, there's been a crazy world, but sundaynotes.email, if you want to start getting the emails from me, is I would take unique components of content that I put out onto social media and refactor it for my email list. For example, if we go to my podcast, southcoast.fm, and we go to episodes and blogs, we'll just highlight Patty Rigo. And, when I post my podcast to the website, you're going to the website to either listen to it for the first time or you're listening to it in your podcast player on your phone. I don't put a lot of content per episode on the website. I do reserve that for unique things that I might have talked about with Patty or any guest, and I'm reserving it just for my email. And I try to make that known through my podcast and through other social media outlets that, look, sundaynotes.email, that website, that's going to be unique content. You're not going to get just a copy paste from everything else that I do. So I might put in a unique quote, a funny story, why I wanted to interview Patty in this email. And then I might do some call to action button for people to go listen to the show. So I might just do this just to show you an example. So link to web address, paste in the web address, and I can say, listen to the episode here. So I can summarize that episode, I can put it in the email, and I can say that here's a unique story. And it's going to, number one, it's delivering unique content to somebody. But number two, it's also selling the idea to now go listen to that episode. So what I'm saying is hopefully that means that you don't, like if you're creating content other places, you can repurpose it in your email. If you have to copy and paste in the beginning, that's fine. But just know that engagements might not be as high, the value of it might not be as high, so people might not read it as much. If they know that it's going to be unique, that's your best angle. And if you've already spent a bunch of time making the podcast or a video or something like that, or a blog post, yeah, you might not have enough time left over to do this lengthy email, but putting in a quick little summary, linking it to other content, that's step number one. Step number two would be much more on the curation side of things. So I don't know if I actually list it here. I don't on Sunday Notes. That's the website. But I have the South Coast Content Creators group on Facebook. What I'll do is when people are sharing their content there, I'll curate that content and put it into this email. So even if you don't have time to even write a summary, or maybe you didn't create content that week, there's nothing really to go about it. Maybe you look around your peers, your colleagues, informative news, fun news, humorous news. I mean, everyone needs a laugh these days. Putting those links inside of an email and just curating news for other people, right? So, you read a blog post, you thought it was great, you watched a YouTube video, you thought it was awesome, you put it in here and say, hey, no amazing content for me today, but here's some curated stuff I found that you might find useful to your customer, right? Or maybe there's industry news. If you're making products, you're making clothes, there's a new sort of fabric that's out there, whatever. You don't always have to be the one creating the content, especially if you're overwhelmed. The third tip, which recently changed in MailChimp, was that you could schedule these emails to go out on the free plan. They no longer offer that, unfortunately. So that could be a huge thing for most of you. Whereas, let me just remove this placeholder. So they removed it recently, but if it's worth it for you, let's just take a look at how much MailChimp costs. $9.99 a month for up to 500 contacts. So that could be something that pushes you over the edge to sign up or drive you crazy, one of the two. So $120 for the year, and you can schedule these emails to go out. So that's the other thing, time management. You could say that, look, I'm only going to send one email a month, and that's 12 emails a year. Maybe literally every January, you sit down and create 12 different emails. You just get it all out of your system. It's scheduled for every single first of the month that goes out or whatever. And then you just set it and forget it. So you spend a bulk of time just like preparing it, writing the content, and then you can schedule it out. Again, it used to be free on MailChimp. I think from all the platforms, $120 a year, not a bad price of what it's going to give you some other stuff like the automation we talked about before as well. So might be something worth thinking about. So scheduling it, time management, all of that fun stuff, you can really make your life a little bit easier with their scheduling. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you learn a lot in this, or at least pull away one or two things. You can find me at southcoast.fm, where I've interviewed Patty, other South Coast entrepreneurs on my podcast at southcoast.fm. It's called the We Are Here podcast. You can find me in iTunes, and again, South Coast.